Hello everyone and welcome to the PHR certification exam prep course. My name is Kathy Nguyen and I am a certified PHR by HRCI and SHRM CP by SHRM. I'm excited to support you on this journey to achieve your HR certification. In this introduction, I'll give you an overview about the exam, and the purpose of this course is to help you accelerating your learning, equip you with foundational information about each of the functional areas of human resources management to enable you to successfully prepare for this exam. We start the course with talk about some information that you need to know before your exam. The first thing is that you need to check your exam eligibility and apply online at HRCI website. Once you obtain the exam test appointment, we recommend that you give yourself 8 to 10 weeks to prepare for the exam. And then you can study for the exam by covering 3 things. The first thing is HR foundational knowledge for each of the functional area. Second thing is to review test taking tips and take as many practice tests as you can to prepare before the exam. And then read and reread the material after you take the practice test, covering the area that you feel that you don't have the most comprehensive knowledge. So again, check your exam eligibility and apply online. Obtain the exam test appointment now that you can take the test virtually. And then give yourself 8 to 10 weeks to study for the exam. In addition, before you take the exam, you need to know all the details about your exam, including the content, time limit, body of knowledge, and how to study for the exam. So let's talk about the content. The PHR exam has 175 questions that cover 5 functional areas. The question types include traditional multiple choice, and multiple responses, filling the blank, drag and drop the answer, and scenarios questions. The questions fit into one of the 3 categories: knowledge, application, and evaluation. Here are some of the things you need to keep in mind. There will be no trick question, no trivia questions, no question about dates, but you need to know your acronyms, such as FLSA for Fair Labor Standards Act, or EEOC for Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Let's talk about the study plan. Included in this course, you will have the ultimate stress-free 10-week study plan. So make sure you follow this study plan. Allow yourself 8 to 10 weeks to study. Learn the foundational knowledge first, reviewing the materials back and forth, reviewing the test taking tips, and then taking the practice test regularly until you achieve 100% correct in all of your practice tests. In this slide, we'll discuss some studying tips for you. The first one is AIM. Here's your target. You need to learn all the concepts, key points, and review the entire content from your study guide by researching online, reviewing multiple resources and books, and make sure that you review the study guide attached to this course at least 3 times prior to the exam. And then practice. Take as many practice tests as possible until you achieve 100% for all of your practice tests. If you fail, feel free to take it again. Secondly, method. It's important to start slowly and build up the speed. And what I mean by that is you can start by studying for 30 minutes to an hour per day and then build it up to 2 hours, 45 minutes, 2 hours per day. But it's important to be consistent. So make sure that you study every day, at least 25-30 minutes. Have a systematic learning, testing, and reviewing process. Put the weekly plan on your notice board, somewhere visible that you can see every day. And then depending on your learning style, you can combine multiple methods of learning, such as reading the materials, listening to your own recording explaining the concepts to you, writing down concepts on Post-it and flashcards, and look at it often. Be creative. You can study while you're running errands or during morning commute by listening to your own recording explaining the key concept to yourself. For example, you can recording to your smartphone the concept of Fair Labor Standards Act. And then last but not least, here's what you need. You need a notebook for rough work. It is better to write out the concept than to type them. It will help you memorize them better, especially with HR vocabulary and concepts. Secondly, you need various materials to diversify and deepen your knowledge because HR body of knowledge is really big. The more you read and looking at all the subject areas, the better you would be not only for the exam but also as an HR professional. And then last but not least, access to practice tests on all the subject areas. Again, taking practice tests regularly will help you to prepare better for the exam. Your goal should be getting 100% on all the practice tests that you have. So here are some of the key study aid tips for you to help you prepare for the exam. Now that you know studying tips, let's talk about test taking tips. The first thing in terms of test taking tips I want to share with you is make sure you read the question. Read and reread the question multiple times to make sure that you fully understand the question. Then you need to understand which one of the options is the correct one and which one is the nearly correct statements. To do that, you need to begin the process of elimination. Be careful, don't read too much into the questions. Pay attention to the echo options. If two choices are completely opposite, chances one of them is probably correct. Pay attention to the negatives, such as the questions like which one of the following is not an XYZ. Pay attention to the absolutes as well, such as always, all, and also pay attention to the qualifiers, such as always versus sometimes. If only one or two words are different, then you really need to pay attention because one is possibly correct. So again, number one, make sure you read and reread the question. Read and reread all the answer, all the scenarios. Use the process of elimination if you're not sure. Pay attention to the echo options, to the negatives in the questions and answer, to any absolutes or qualifiers in the question or answer. Oftentimes though, your first choice is often the right choice. So again, don't read too much into the question. Trust that you study enough and you know the right answer.